Good morning. I'm Katie Dutcher from Flourish and Bloom and Monterey Bay Meditation Studio. So last week, I began to talk a little bit about self-care and really, rather than that little phrase, expanding it to actually caring for yourself. And I talked about how I really see it as something necessary. I see it as deeper than than what we might initially think. That it's something like offering yourself a treat, or um, it could take many forms, but thinking about it as something quite a bit deeper, the way that you might care for other people. And I talked about a self-care practice that is personal. It's what really serves you, that's variable, that really can kind of shrink or expand to fill the time that is available, and that's daily. That is really just little bits and pieces in it, and it's more like a way of being than a, a big kind of one-time thing or trip or something like that. So I wanted to continue with this and kind of expand in a little bit of a different way by really beginning to think about our practices of mindfulness as self-care. Now, a practice of mindfulness, a practice of meditation is many things and has um, many benefits and many just like reasons for being, right? Why do we meditate? There are a million reasons, and some of them are about self and some of them are about the world and others, right? So this is not saying it's the purpose or the outcome of a mindfulness practice, but it's one component that I would like to highlight: mindfulness practice as a way of caring for ourselves. And what made me start thinking of this is that I I have really, I guess I feel really lucky because not only do I have a practice that I have seen over, gosh, like 10 years now, grow and develop in a way that it really does help me care for myself. So I've gotten to see that. But then as a mindfulness coach, as a teacher, um, and especially as somebody who teaches like introductory classes a lot of times, I just love getting to see how all of a sudden it's like a light turns on, and it's like so many more options available, as soon as someone begins to kind of have the lens of mindfulness and be more present in their lives. And what I have seen, and I see this for men and women, but I especially, I think it's a vivid change. It's kind of a starker change for women. Is this kind of basically mindfulness as a path to empowerment, as really a way of understanding, first of all, awareness of maybe how we were not caring for ourselves. We were not paying any attention to how our body is feeling, what our emotional needs are. Like we're used to just maybe pressing that down or not having permission to focus on that. And then all of a sudden it's like a light turns on, or a bomb, a good bomb goes off, that is just like, oh, there's possibility here, and maybe even responsibility for taking care of ourselves, and not getting to such a place of burnout or resentment or things like that. And so our practice of mindfulness, being like waking up to our own lives, is really this spark that we can see things blossom and begin to transform. And so what are what's happening here? I think that when we, first of all, when we practice mindfulness, we begin to give ourselves permission to slow down. We notice how much we're just kind of scurrying around and always trying to stay one or two steps ahead of ourselves. And this gives us the permission, or the just the reminder, the idea of, oh, I can slow down. And even more than slow down, I can be still. I can sit here and essentially do nothing at all. And that's not only it's not only not bad or wasteful, it is really good. It is really a really integral piece of well-being to take that time of stillness. I can, in carving out time for meditation, or for a nice nourishing walk, or whatever is the practice of awareness for the day, in carving out that time, it's also giving yourself permission to spend time on something that's important to you. And so again, it's this kind of giving some value to yourself, to your own needs. And it's also this really bringing intentionality, living in the way you intend to. So so much of our mindfulness practice, we get to taste these qualities of being that we really just crave. Um, for me, the qualities that come to mind are ease, right? As you just sit there and you let your eyes close, mind drifts, comes back, ease, just being with it. That slowness and unhurriedness. Even just for that, for the moments of that practice, that there's that window in the day that doesn't have to be hurried, that doesn't have to be doing, producing, accomplishing. And so this is where there's some empowerment. This is where we get to taste these qualities that um, maybe we even associate with like being on vacation, like ease and going slow. Um, and it's like we can have these mini vacations, these mini like dream times in the middle of the day, in the middle of every day. And keep in mind too, this is in the time and the culture that we live in, this is kind of revolutionary. Um, it, to take time alone to fill your cup first, to take this time, especially like for me, it's in the morning often. This time, David White calls this a time of undoing before the doing of the day begins. All of this, the going slow, the pausing, just being, this is not, I mean, it's getting more and more maybe normalized in our culture, but it goes against the kind of workaholic, um, you know, get better, get better, get better, that kind of mode that a lot of us are in. And so um, there's a lot here. I could go on and on about this, but you can see, I hope, what I mean about this, just starting to pay attention and starting to respond to yourself in a different way really offers, it offers this personal empowerment. It offers just a stark change in our way of being, that I really think is nourishing. I really think it is a form of self-care to be in the world in that way. And of course, it doesn't really stop there. It's helps us offer care to others as well. It helps us be with others in a more skillful and supportive way as well. So it's, again, it's a real it's more than a treat. It's really satisfying, fulfilling for me to get to witness this change in people. And like I said, especially for women, I can't say how many women I have been with as they really negotiate. Even the fact that they're taking a class, that they're exiting from regular life and taking a class for themselves, leaving to the side for a moment the duties of family and kids and whatever life holds. And even just the taking the classes saying, hey, whoa, maybe I'm not okay here. Maybe my needs need some addressing. Is that even okay to do? Is that even possible? Can I recognize my needs? And then it just begins to blossom from there. It's just amazing. And so what I would leave us with then is, I guess, just the idea of seeing it as care, seeing our practice as nourishment, rather than another way we might see it, like some kind of obligation, like, oh, I got to do my meditation today, right? Or something that we need to perfect. Oh, I need to do, more minutes than last month, or something like that. Um, or something that we could fail at, right? It's nothing we can fail at. It's nothing to perfect, and it's not an obligation. It is really um, I mean, certainly we want habit and all of that, but why do we want habit? And that is, I think, what the key is there. Why do you practice? What, how do you benefit from your practice? So when we kind of hold that in mind, all the benefits, all the well-being, then maybe we can see it as a gift that we offer ourselves, rather than any kind of have to or should that piles on top of all the other shoulds in our life. So if you notice at all that it does feel like your practice of meditation or whatever practices you have, if you do feel like they're heavy, they're difficult, you might just think about that. Like, what would have you more at ease? What would make it feel more nourishing or caring? And just a couple, tiny examples. Maybe you're, sitting in a place where you feel like you should sit in a certain way for meditation, and it's uncomfortable. Well, what would happen if you just like cozied up on the couch with a blanket and that's where you meditate? Would that feel nourishing to you? Because you can totally do that. Um, so that I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Or maybe you've been pushing yourself to really go for a long time, and that just feels so like you don't look forward to doing that at all. Well, what if you shorten it? One of my previous videos a few weeks ago was talking about really anything counts. And so I just offering yourself there some options, and really with this lens of mindfulness and meditation as a way of caring for yourself, as a gift. So let's go ahead and offer that gift right where you are, wherever you're sitting. Go ahead and let yourself just settle in. If you need a blanket, if you want something to make yourself more comfortable, go ahead and do that. just sitting here. Breath is already flowing. Certain parts of the body taking part in this slow rhythm of the breath. Gentle rising and falling of the chest, of the belly, other parts of the body still and grounded, the weightiness, steadiness of the lower body. When we bring ourselves to stillness, it's like we're opening up an empty space, a clearing. And sometimes we can simply rest here in this clearing, enjoying the peace. And sometimes the experience is that we open this clearing and then we're able to simply see what crosses the clearing, see what is here in this stillness. Thoughts wander through, traces of emotion, sparks of body sensations. Letting it all move through. And finding these moments of stillness and quiet within. In a moment, I'll ring the bell. Thank you for being here. If you are wanting any um, like assistance or just more about how to meditate or how to start a practice, maybe as I talk about um, your meditation practice, your mindfulness practice, you're wanting something like that. I have on my website katiedutcher.com right at the top. I think there's a link to a little free guide about starting to meditate, how to get started. That's a great place to start, as well as, if you're in my area, taking a class, taking an introductory class is a great place to start. Really, if you're in any area, mindfulness based stress reduction is a wonderful class to start taking that's offered many places, or any other like introduction to mindfulness that's maybe 4 weeks or longer, I think is a great place to start. And of course, I love, um, as you've heard, I love helping people get going on this journey. And so I do coaching over the phone, or in person in the Monterey area. And that's a great way to really tailor in the practice to what you're needing right now and what your life is like. So if there's any way I can support you in this, let me know, and I'll see you next week.